Have you ever really stopped and wondered what happens after we die? Is there some grand plan, a cosmic system that makes sure everything, well, balances out in the end? Today, we're diving into the Garuda Purana. It's this incredible ancient text that gives us a really detailed roadmap of the soul's journey. And it suggests that every single thing we do has consequences that, yeah, they ripple out long after we're gone.
So, let's start with a wild idea. What if every single thing you do, every word you say, even every thought you have was being recorded, like on some kind of cosmic ledger that keeps a perfect, unchangeable record of your entire life? Now, this isn't science fiction. It's actually a core idea in the Garuda Purana, and it has massive implications for what comes next.
Okay, so how does this whole cosmic accounting thing actually work? Well, the Garuda Purana basically describes it as a spiritual balance sheet for every soul. Every action is recorded, like a debit or a credit, creating this complete and totally unbiased record of our lives. And it's not really about punishment. It's all about balance and consequences.
And get this, we're not just talking about the big stuff. The text makes it super clear that every little word, and yep, even every single thought, gets written down. The one in charge of this is the celestial scribe Chitragupta, who's like the ultimate bookkeeper, making sure our karma ledger is 100% accurate. It just goes to show you, our inner world is just as important as what we do on the outside. So what happens to this ledger? Well, when our time here is up, our soul gets called to a kind of celestial court for the final reckoning. This is where that balance sheet of our life gets pulled out, reviewed, and where our fate in the afterlife is ultimately decided. And here's the thing, nobody gets a pass, no exceptions. It doesn't matter if you were a king or a commoner, everyone has to face this judgment. And the one presiding over this whole thing, well, he's a figure of just immense power and authority. The judge of the dead is named Yama, and his description is, well, it's pretty terrifying. We're talking about a body as huge as a mountain, with these piercing red eyes. He's got a really fearsome appearance for sure, but there's more to him than just looking scary. His real purpose isn't to intimidate, it's to uphold cosmic justice. So, despite this super intimidating look, Yama is actually known as the Dharmaraja, the king of righteousness. His job is to be a completely impartial judge. He makes sure the laws of the cosmos are upheld, and his verdicts aren't based on how he feels. Nope, they're based on the cold, hard facts written in the soul's ledger. All right, so the ledger is presented, the judge gives his verdict, and then what? Well, then come the consequences. The path that the soul takes next is a direct result of the life it just led. For souls carrying a heavy burden of negative karma, the papigal, the path leads to a place called Naraka, which is a realm of suffering. But listen, this isn't about eternal damnation. It's more like a spiritual purification process, a chance to atone for the things you did and kind of rebalance the cosmic scales. Now, I know this all sounds pretty grim, right? A cosmic accounting system, a fearsome judge, potential suffering. But what if there was a way to influence that ledger while we're still here? What if our fate wasn't totally sealed by our mistakes? Well, the text gives us a really powerful answer to that. And that answer, that path to balancing the scales for the better, lies in a really simple but incredibly profound idea: the power of giving. The key to redemption is something called dana, which is righteous giving, or charity. Now, this isn't just about writing a check. It's all about the intention behind the act. True dana is giving without expecting anything back. It's a selfless act that generates incredibly powerful positive karma. And yeah, it can literally change your destiny. And the text doesn't just, talk about giving in some abstract way. It gets very, very specific about which acts of dana carry a ton of spiritual weight. The Garuda Purana lists a few acts of giving that carry huge merit, like donating sesame seeds or iron or gold, but the most powerful, the absolute pinnacle of them all, is Bhumi Dana, the donation of land. You gotta remember, in ancient cultures, land was everything. It was the source of life, of sustenance, so giving it away was seen as an act of unbelievable generosity. And the karmic weight of land is just immense. Taking it from someone wrongfully is a huge sin that leads to some serious suffering in the afterlife. But giving it selflessly, that's an act of such profound merit that it can wipe away even the most serious mistakes.
To really hammer this point home, the text says that donating land can even absolve the sin of brahmahatya, which is the killing of a Brahmin, a scholar or priest. Back then, this was considered one of the absolute worst sins imaginable. So the fact that donating land can erase even that just speaks volumes about its spiritual power.
So a home that's built on donated land becomes so much more than just a building. It's seen as a sacred space, a kind of beacon of positive energy that attracts divine blessings. The act of giving creates a foundation not just for a house, but for a life that's filled with grace and good fortune. When you boil it all down, the ultimate message here is one of empowerment. It's telling us that our destiny isn't just something that happens to us. We are the authors of our own spiritual story. We write our legacy with every single choice we make. That cosmic ledger isn't some judgment from on high, it's just a reflection of the life we chose to live. And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. If the scales of cosmic justice can be tipped, not by some grand, impossible deeds, but by simple, selfless acts of giving, well, that puts immense power right back into our hands. It connects this ancient wisdom directly to our daily lives. So, what will you choose to add to your ledger today?